Janet wore a smile from the nose down. Her eyes bore daggers. If I offered a Friday afternoon off for having finished a big project early, she wished it had been last week when she and her husband were headed out of town for the football game. When I ordered in pizza for everyone's lunch to celebrate a staff anniversary, she had hoped it was barbecue. When I congratulated a 3-person team on finishing a big custom course for a client and I raved about it, she dropped a note on my desk, just FYI, that her coworker hadn't done anything to speak of on the project, that she herself had completed the major part. She just wanted me to know that she was really the one that pulled it off. When I announced that our company would continue to pay health care premiums for all of our employees, she smiled and guessed that she would be penalized because she already had coverage through her husband's firm and would just lose that benefit that others in the company received. So, to appease her, I offered the premium equivalent in cash a few weeks later. Her husband eventually lost his job, along with it his health coverage, and Janet was back in my office asking for health coverage like everyone else. Such is the scene in dealing with passive aggressives. Maybe you recognize some of this behavior around your office. These individuals appear to act appropriately in any given situation, but they actually behave negatively and they resist things passively. They often play the victim. Their passive-aggressive actions can range anywhere from mild to very extreme. Here's what mild resistance looks like. They make excuses for not doing things. They forget. They blame. They misunderstood. And they're just teasing when they hurt somebody's feelings. Extreme resistance looks like this. They actually will sabotage your success. They will block your plans. They will really sabotage your results. In other words, they fear openly and directly communicating with you about disagreeing, so they communicate their resistance covertly. And dealing with them is just sheer misery. It's much like dealing with a terrorist. You never know when they're going to strike until the damage has been done. Here's a letter I received, an email actually, from one of my blog readers who had experienced this misery. Here's what he said in his email. Hello, Dianna. I've dealt with something I've seen a little written about. In my last church and in the current one, I had someone under me who was very passive-aggressive. I had no idea how much harm someone like this can do. Both of them were unexplainable. In my last church, I had realized that passive-aggressive behavior was something that she did so subtly, I didn't realize it at first. The most recent one was a struggle to deal with. She threw me under the bus as she was leaving for another church. It became such an issue that I called a guy in a church she served in Florida. He said she exhibited the same behavior there. At least it made me not feel like I was going crazy. My current pastor asked me to make sure she knew that I was her supervisor. He went on to say, from that point, it went downhill. I had no idea the havoc these people can cause. Have you dealt with this much in any of your writings? I am finding it more prevalent when I'm talking to others, and we are church workers. I can imagine what it's like in the real world. I would love to read up more on this, and then he goes on in his email to me asking me if I know how to spot them in the interview process. He goes on in his blog to say, honestly, it was so bad that I never want to have to deal with this again. The crazy thing is that most people can't spot them. I had never seen this before in any other place. Sounds like a good book title for your next book. He suggests a title to me. Your coworker may just be a passive-aggressive. Thanks for all you do. And he signed it with his initial. Here's help in dealing with such an individual. The blog email to me suggested these tips that I should write to you. The first tip, understand that you cannot change their complex, deep-rooted problem. It is best left in the hands of a psychologist or a psychiatrist. So you want to focus instead on your own take-charge attitude. Try not to get frustrated or frazzled by their shenanigans. Any tit-for-tat accusations on your part will just be met with denials and cries of, I'm the victim here, I'm the victim. So you can't deal with that. The second tip, invite their input. Some passive-aggressive people behave as they do because they feel that they have no voice. That's what causes part of it. So when possible, ask their opinion on solving problems. You don't need to agree with it or disagree with it. Just asking for their opinion or their complaint helps. Tell them that you'll consider what they've said. Often just inviting this input will satisfy them. And third, keep your sense of humor. If possible, and if their negativity is not extreme, that will help. Your passive-aggressive coworker reports to you that your project plan seems flawed and it looks as though the whole product will be delivered to the customer 14 days late. That might be an example comment. They're always negative, as I mentioned. So maybe you just smile and say, Kevin, put on sunglasses and see if the flow chart looks any better. Or maybe we can highlight the spreadsheet in yellow and see if we get a brighter picture. Again, just a little humor, and then you just move ahead with your plans. Another tip, document official communication. If you have to interact with this person on an ongoing basis to get important things done, you can't afford to let the situation just ride and ignore it. It will only intensify. So if you need to give instructions, for example, you're the supervisor, or you otherwise work with this person on a project, document the actions in writing or have another person present as you discuss the project. Keep a written record and phone recordings of actions. Who's responsible for what and what are the deadlines? And then state consequences for the behavior. Undercover hostility and sabotage is the trademark of a passive-aggressive person. When you confront these people with their behavior, they almost always will deny it. They will make excuses. They will blame other people. So despite what they might say, state what you're going to do to move forward. Tell them the consequences they will be facing if they persist in this kind of behavior. Strongly stated, these consequences can compel them to stop obstructing and start cooperating. If none of the above techniques work and you control the situation, you may have to end the relationship. If you must continue to interact with that person, you're not their boss. You can't control it, and you have to work with them. Keep your distance as much as possible and maintain your composure while dealing with this challenging personality. After all, leadership includes those kinds of challenges: covert hostility as well as open conflict.